happens when your rider goes way off the front. It's okay.
Sorry about that.
Remember how we talked about we keep our legs moving and we change our gears. So that way we don't come to a standstill and we're going back out of the group, forward out of the group, back out of the group. So let's, we all know our order. You all only have to remember who you're following. So I only have to remember that I'm following Erickson. So each of you, if you're having trouble remembering who you're following, give a shout. And otherwise, let's put ourselves, or I'm following Stephanie, actually, Olafson. So, yeah, my God, look at this. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so, Lewis, at the 25-minute mark, we will start calling out how long we'll be on the front. And I think let's all just be on the front for 30 seconds, okay?
Do we have a speed that we want to try? That'll really be helpful.
Sure, I like this 34, 32.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is good.
This on
So
deck.
Lewis said he was on until 25:30. Liz was on deck.
Hey everybody, this is KJ from Coalition. I just wanted to let you know that I'm recording the session from about 2 minutes ago. Had some problems getting set up this afternoon and some delays, so I apologize for not introducing myself earlier. I am just observing and moving the camera around and filming on each of you and listening to the conversation recording for that, for future use.
So incredible. Thank you,
Thanks,
KJ.
KJ.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, I'll go with 26 then.
Lewis off in 5.
It's on in 5. It's on till 26:30.
And Diane says,
Diane on deck.
Nice. Sorry, what was the speed again?
32 to 34.
but when we're going uphill, we don't have to punch it, right? It'll be adjusted as we go up the hill.
Oh, it's already 30 seconds. Liz, Sorry.
Diane on.
Till?
27.
Jane on deck.
Thank you.
You all look very good, like you've been doing this for a while.
Diane off. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
think maybe-
Remember, we don't say sorry.
I
Jane
know.
on
It's
27:30.
Thank you. Who's on deck?
On deck, is that right?
Yep, Marco on deck. That's right.
Jane off in 5. Jane off.
Margot on front until 28.
Thank you.
Oh.
And who's on deck?
Laurel's on deck.
Thank you.
Margot off in 5.
Great.
Laurel on in 5.
Margot off.
Laurel on till 28:30.
Perfect.
Now, do I go to the back? Does
Yes.
Margot go to the back? Okay.
yes.
Yep. And find your person. And Stephanie's on deck.
Laurel off in 5. Laurel off.
On up to 29.
Stephanie on till 29. Thank you. Susan on deck.
One thing to think about when you're rolling off of the pace line is that you want to pedal a little lighter not too much lighter because you'll shoot right out the back when the group's really moving. So just a little lighter so that you're drifting back gently. And then when you see the last
Stephanie
person,
on.
the person that you're supposed
Susan
to be
on
following,
till 29:30.
then
Lewis
you
on back.
put your pedals back to the same power that you were doing before.
Susan off in 5.
Lewis on.
Liz
Till
on back.
30.
Thank you.
Seeing
So
a
you
lot
can
of
see how there's a
PRs.
small-
Nice.
There's a small gap through here, so I'm going to actually close that to pull Liz forward to Lewis. Now, Stephanie, we couldn't hear you totally well, but that's okay. You can also wave. So, Liz, I'm going to the back now that you've caught up there.
Perfect.
Lewis off.
Yep,
Liz
Lewis
on
off.
till see? Liz on till 30, CR 40. Sorry,
Diane on deck.
Thank you.
Liz off in 5.
Diane on at 30.
Jane on deck.
Diane's on.
Jane on deck.
Awesome. And the reason you want to say how long you're on till is that lets everybody in the line know kind of what to expect for speed differences.
Diane off in 5. Diane off.
Jane on till 31:30.
Yeah.
Who's on deck?
Circles on deck.
Thank you.
Jane off in 5. Jane off.
Circles on front until 32.
Laurel on deck.
Thank you.
Argo off in 5.
Laurel on in 5.
Argo off. Right.
Laurel on until 32:30.
On deck. Thank you.
Sometimes it's helpful to know what features are coming up on the course. If you're working with a DS or even just within the team, sometimes it makes sense to not do a rotation if you're in the middle of a hill or if there's a significant feature coming up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Would 100% agree with
I
that.
love that.
Yep.
Love it. So fantastic, Lewis. And so, yeah, if somebody does know this course well, they might say, I'm going to hold until the hill, and then I'll start pulling, right?
I'm gonna hold until I can talk. So Laurel off at 33, I think.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Stephanie on until 33:30.
Sure. Susan on deck. And we don't panic when we get a little mixed up. We just keep endeavoring to put ourselves in the line. And this is a rolly course.
Yeah.
Susan on, till 34. See, we're not even working hard and math's hard.
See, I struggled. 30, 30, 30, 33, 34.
Lewis on.
Off in 5.
And Lewis on.
It's on deck.
So one of the ways you can help the person that you're behind is ease up as you're coming off the front, even in the last second before your pull is over. That allows them to start moving forward, and they're not pushing watts that they don't need to push. I'm headed to the back here. Leopard going to the back.
All right, Lewis off.
It's on till 35.
Diane on deck.
Yeah,
Coming
Diane, I'm going
forward.
to the back here. So,
Yep.
yeah. Nice. I like that you're communicating that to the people behind you so they can put some effort in. Do you feel like we're forming an accordion here because we had to push a little
Yep.
extra? Yeah, so that's why early communication, or you might say, I'm going to start to accelerate.
Liz, maybe
Everybody
you
come
want to
with
stay
me.
on for this downhill?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's downhill a bit, so we'll bunch up probably.
Okay, so Diane on at the base of the downhill.
Another little 1%.
So if you look on the left hand or right hand side of the screen, do you see that there's a gap to Stephanie and I? You don't need to adjust, we're catching. But you can see that in the numbers between us. So it might say we're 2 seconds back, 5 seconds back. That's another good
Liz,
way
whenever
to
you're ready.
Liz off.
Thank you.
Diane on until 36.
Diane on deck.
Fantastic.
Sometimes after your pull, as you're dropping back, you may see that there's a gap. that'll
Diane
pop
off
up.
in 5.
If you have
Diane
the
off.
energy, if you
Diane
have
off
the
till
energy
30.
to fill that gap, it can really help bring things back together. And then as the accordion kind of collapses, you can continue moving back. Sometimes that just makes it easier because all you're doing is providing a little bit of draft in that
Diane off in
particular
5.
spot.
So let's try
Hang on.
that. Margot, will you accelerate a little bit? And
Okay.
Jane, I want you to fill that gap as you go by Margot. As she goes by you, I want you to fill a gap. So do you see how Jane filled that gap there? We can look ahead even, any of you that are behind here. And Diane,
Yeah.
you can see I'm filling a bit of a gap here between you and
Yep.
me and Lewis and Liz. So now we don't have to do so much sprint work.
Right.
Because we have somebody who's kind of halfway between.
Yeah.
If you look at the screen on the right-hand side, now can you see the numbers difference between all of us? That
Perfect
Margot
line.
is, yeah, and Margot, you can ease up just a little now.
Yeah, go ahead,
And you can
Margot.
see some of us are 3 seconds back. And so that's how we see, oh, we got a gap, right?
Susan, do you think
And
it's worth talking about the close the gap part as well, like being between 2 and 4, and that close the gap memo that comes up is really helpful too.
Love it, love it.
You kind
So
of want to
what's,
see that.
Liz, describe what you're talking about.
So you'll see now and again it will say there'll be 2 bikes on your screen that says close the gap. You want it to be, when it comes up, about, I think it's 2 to 4 meters, it's sort of perfect draft thing. And like that's good if you see that. Don't worry, because it's telling you to close the gap, but basically don't. Like, because it doesn't know you're doing a TTT. So don't be like, oh my god, I've got to close the gap. Keep the gap about 2 to 4 meters.
And if you're in over your head with a group, don't keep the gap at 2 to 4 meters. So if you're a stronger rider, you can let that gap be a little further.
Yeah.
If you are at risk of being dropped, you want to cling to that rider in front of you like a kitten with a hungry little kitten with a piece of meat, right? That is hanging on.
Yeah,
So,
cling for dear life.
yeah, depending on how strong you are in the group will depend on how much distance you can allow. So that is an important thing to understand, that when you're in over your head, you have to be a little more careful about the gaps. But when you are a little stronger, we can actually allow some of that distance, which gives us a little better draft. But if we get out of that draft, we have the punch to close back up.
Susan, can I add a quick conversation about aerodynamics in Zwift?
Yeah, we'll just ride as a mob here for
Okay.
a moment while we talk,
Cool.
so DJ can give us some information.
All right. I want Luis to go ahead and comment on what he was going to say, and then I'll fill in my part.
I was actually just going to say that one thing to remember is if you do see a gap open up in front of you, don't panic. Close it slowly, because if you get up and sprint to close that gap, what you're doing is creating a gap for the rider behind you that they now have to get up and sprint to close or whatever. So being smooth about it and just bringing your cadence, so you're gearing up one, could be enough. Or you can actually, call out that a gap is opening, and people will let off for 2-3 seconds just to let that gap close up. Otherwise, it's the same as the cars at the stop sign, or the famous experiment with traffic jams and all that, but in reverse.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with Luis there. There's only really 3 places where you're going to use power above and beyond what other people are using. The whole idea of a team time trial is to go as fast as you can, as steady as you can, as efficiently as you can. So if you're off the back by yourself and you're trying to catch back up to the group, by all means, jump out of the saddle, close that gap. If you are being told to surge, as the group will surge, then everybody will surge and join in that way. And the only other place to sprint then is if you get some kind of technological error and it drops you off the back, not while you're going at pace, but just because you have a technology problem. Those would be the only places where you really want to apply a whole lot of power. Otherwise, everything is just really subtle. So then we're going to go and talk about aerodynamics now. So while we're talking about these gaps, what we're really talking about is aerodynamics and efficiency. Part of team time trial is to maintain efficiency and keep that pace going so that everybody makes it across the line together, the fastest that the group can go combined. Each step back is more aerodynamic. So the second person gets a great draft, the third person more, the fourth person even more, the fifth person, and the sixth person about the same as the fifth. So as you're moving along, you're drafting and you're protecting each other. If you're riding off to the side, if you're bunching up, there's no draft for you, and consequently, you're not extending the draft to your teammates. So it's really important to be in the line when you can, pedaling subtly, and also to close those gaps. Now, closing gaps is subtle. It doesn't require surging. You don't have to really apply a lot of power. You're just putting a little bit more pressure on the pedals. And like right now, you guys look fantastic. What a great line. The gaps that you have, you don't want them to exceed 2 or 3 meters. At that point, the Zwift algorithm will start to penalize the draft, and you'll start to go down in the efficiency of the team. So 2 to 3 is ideal. More than that is less than ideal. Not horrible. It doesn't mean the end of the world. It just means that people behind you or you alone are working harder than you have to. And the whole idea is to have everybody be as efficient as possible. So I just wanted to put that out there as far as for the gaps. Now, when it comes to aerodynamics in TTT, we chose to use our regular bikes today because not everybody has fancy TT bikes and fancy wheels, and we didn't want to overcomplicate things. But when we TTT as a team, What you want to do is you want to pick the most efficient aerodynamic bike that you can. You don't worry about climbing on the road because everybody's going to be going up the hill together on the same bike with the same weight, and you're going to be working together. So even though hills might be harder and this lighter wheel set seems like a great idea, it's not going to help you because aerodynamics always defeat weight 100% of the time. They're always better. So when you are, unless you're doing a hill climb is the exception. But when you're doing a route in Zwift, you're not doing a hill climb except for Alpe d'Huez. And you are going to be wanting to select the most aerodynamic wheel set and frame that you can in the TT class. And the wheel set, of course, is a wheel set. It's the same for road bikes as well as TTT bikes. So if you chose climbing wheels today, no big deal. But if you didn't select the most aerodynamic wheel set that you have today for this exercise, think about that next time. And don't be afraid to ask your experienced teammates for tips on which ones are the best because everybody's got great information and can share that. That's what I wanted to put out about aerodynamics. If you want to get a deep dive, you can text me. I can send you links. Aerodynamics in Zwift are just as important as they are on the road. And once you unlock that, you can actually figure out how to be a faster rider in the real world as well. And I'll leave it. I'll drop that off and hand it back to Susan.
So if you don't mind, KJ, I wanted to just ask a question. I had at one point been told visually, because the close the gap doesn't always show up, if you're trying to maintain that 2 to 4 distance, put your head on the butt of the person in front of you.
Exactly what accurate? I do. Yes, that is 100% accurate. So if your butt is covering their butt in the view, like if you're behind the rider and your butt is covering theirs, and I'm going to shift real quick to look at.
Their head, right?
Yeah.
Their head.
Your head covers their butt, then you're at the proper distance. And maybe the tops of your shoulders hits their waistband is even better. So if you're the top...
I'm a super visual person, so that helps.
So I would say that if your shoulders match their waistband, you are within 2 meters. If you're seeing their butt, you're probably at 3 to 4. If the top of your head is at their waistband. So I would try to match waistband to shoulders for ideal distance. Again, this is ideal. It's not going to happen all day long. Any change of concentration, any change of road surface, any change of pitch in the road, the incline, that's going to impact how closely you can follow. And again, if you've got a gap, like we've got a small gap going right now, that's okay. Close the gap gently. Don't race to close it. So you're going to increase your wattage to some degree, but if you see yourself coming out of the saddle, it might be a little bit too much. Sometimes our characters pop out just because we're doing a grindy cadence where it's a low cadence and you apply a little bit of pressure, it goes over a threshold and triggers our character to jump out of the saddle. That's not the same as applying a little bit of pressure. So don't panic if you're just applying a little bit of pressure and you see your character rise.
Does anybody else have any KJ questions or any specific questions that are coming up? And then after the questions, we're going to do a little split into 2 and have one team catch the other, and we'll practice having a team pass us. Any other questions? There's lots of time. Okay. So what I would like to do, Jane and Diane and Margot, Jane and Diane and Laurel and Lewis. The 4 of you are team B, and you're gonna catch team A. Okay, so Lewis is wearing a red hat, and let's see, Margot, what are you wearing? Red? Are you wearing red socks? I can't remember. Margot's got yellow socks.
Yellow.
Yeah, yellow socks. Jane's got the multicolored socks, and oops, Margot. So Margot, you're with my group in the front with Liz, Stephanie, Margot, Susan. And Jane, you're going to go back with Lewis and Laurel and Diane. And you guys are just going to go back and ride with each other and let us ride as a group. And I'd like you guys to ride at around 24 kilometers per hour, okay? And my group, we're going to start making our way up to around 28 to 30. And we're just creating a little gap right now. And then what's going to happen is when we get far enough away from each other, we're going to have Lewis and Jane's group start to time trial a bit faster. We'll all do 30-second pulls. So even if, just know the person is coming off at the 30-second mark. So we don't have to practice the Jane on, Jane off, Susan on, Susan on. I'll put us in order and we'll just know at the 30-second mark, we take over the rider in front of us. When Lewis's group, when Group B is coming upon us, I will say, Group A, we are being passed. We will all bunch up together as a mob, and Lewis will say to the group, guys, we're going to just accelerate 1 kilometer per hour together as a mob, and let's all get past them. We make sure there's a clean pass. And the reason for this is there's actually a lot of draft when a group catches you, and they're not sometimes going terribly faster than you. So it's easy to accidentally get sucked in to the other group. And then you're accidentally drafting. And then all of a sudden it feels like they're going slower. Well, why'd they slow down? And then your group thinks we should pass them. But really, you were just getting draft. And so now you're just mucking around. So in racing, generally the rule is you give way to the faster rider. And in this case, you'll give way to the faster team. So our order is Liz, Stephanie, Margot, Susan. Okay, so put yourselves in order. Know who is in front of you. We all look different. Lewis's group is going to be Lewis, Diane, Laurel, Jane. Lewis, just hold your group around that 24 kilometers per hour while we get going. And then I'll tell you when you can start ramping up. So Liz, your pulse starts at 52, all doing 30-second pulse. And around this 35 kilometers per hour is perfect.
It's on till 52:30 because it's good practice. So.
It is. We'll have two groups talking. So
yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
We've got a nice 20-second gap between both of the groups right now. Okay, Lewis, your group can start ramping up at 52:30.
Here we go.
And Stephanie, we're going to go at about 33. I like this pace you're doing. You don't have to go faster. And on the hill, you don't have to push to get to 33. You just keep your pace. Steps off in 5.
Lewis off in 5.
Diane on deck.
Margot on deck.
Yeah, Margot's
Diane's on till 53:30.
Nice work, Diane. Little gap there, Jane.
Diane off in 5.
Margot off in 5.
Susan coming on.
Diane's
Margot
off.
off.
Laurel coming on.
Until 54.
It's on deck.
Yeah.
Nice work, Jane.
Jane on deck.
Susan off in 5.
Roll off in 5. Roll off.
Until 54:30.
Nice
Jane
line.
on till 54:30.
Lewis on deck.
Very nice line for the team at the back. Team 2.
Jane off in 5.
Liz off in 5.
Lewis on to 55.
Diane on deck.
Stephanie on till 55.
Gap
Alright,
is closing at
passing
6 seconds.
third.
Sounds good.
I'll
So
stay on the
my
front
group,
and we'll third.
we have a group passing us, everybody. So we're gonna blob. So don't worry about who's pulling. We're gonna just hold this pace, and we're gonna blob up together. And make sure you look at who's in your team. Don't get caught up with Lewis's group. Let's let them go by cleanly. We'll let them get 3 seconds ahead, and then we'll restart our pull with Margot at 55:24. She's going to pull till 56. Great work,
Very
team.
nice pass, team. Great job.
Great. So Lewis, let's put your group at 30 kilometers per hour now, and my group's going to pass your group because it's nice to practice from both sides.
Yep.
Perfect. So Margot, we're going to get ourselves up to 31 kilometers per hour after the hill.
Should be fairly smooth
And
as
maybe
we
we'll
come
put-
back into town.
Yeah, we'll put Lewis's group at maybe 27 kilometers per hour. Let's do that. And Susan on till 56:30.
Liz on deck.
Alright, Lewis on till 56:30.
Diane on deck.
And
Coming
Lewis
off.
off.
Liz
Diane's
on
on.
until 57.
Laurel on deck.
Slowing it down a little bit, folks.
All right, my team, let's blob up. We're going to pass a group today. So everybody forms a blob with Liz as the leader. Let's
So
hope
we
this
blob-
team is good. A clean
All right.
team, clean pass.
We're
So
gonna
here we
pass and
go.
blob up.
Make sure you're clear through the group, Team A. Little bit of a sprint through there just to get through everybody. We're going to keep the pressure on right now just to get clean and clear.
Now, one thing to remember is while it's sprinting, you can't use the team that's passing you for any kind of draft. So you got to make sure that there's a reasonable space between you. I think where we're at now is
You were four.
definitely pretty solid.
Now, you guys hear me?
And now.
And you can see now that our team is 4 seconds, 5 seconds difference, and that's a clean pass. Way to go, everybody. Okay, let's blob back up one big mob group. Really, really good. And you can see how sometimes you accidentally fly by the rider that's in front of you. That's okay. You can start practicing using your gear shifting to adjust your speed. So we'll let the other group catch up to us here. Great work. And we'll roll it in for a cool down for the last 2.7K. KJ, anything you noticed? Or Lewis, Jane, Liz, anything you guys want to add?
Good.
I think you covered it pretty well.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yes, sir.
the most important thing is don't freak out when something goes weird. it's always going to go weird.
Right. And
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. And whatever you do, just try and be as smooth as possible.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's, in essence, the biggest part of it.
I think the big
I think everybody looks really good.
I think the biggest takeaway from any team time trial practices is get to know the capabilities of the other people that you're riding with. Even new people will show their strengths and their areas that they need to build on whenever they get in a group. Be patient, be kind, fill in the gaps where you see the gaps, and explain to people, hey, I'm not crowding you out. I'm just trying to help because I noticed you're struggling to fill that gap. If I put myself in there, you're going to get more draft. It'll make us more efficient. Be kind. And don't ever romp on the pedals. Just no need in team time trial. There's no need for surges and no need for sprints.
Yep.
Yeah, nice and steady.
Yep.
And I do have a question about the steering. So in ZRL team time trial for ZRL, we're not going to have steering. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, it'll be off, won't it?
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay. All
I
right.
believe so.
But is it on in Is it on for the regular TTTs on Thursdays? The
Yeah.
steering alone? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, it will be on for WTRL Thursdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
Tuesday.
Just remember, if
Okay.
you don't touch your buttons for a while, your avatar will start to auto steer again, and they will jump back in line.
Well,
Well, what
it is,
happens even if steering's turned off in a race? It will just still do that a bit.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So if steering is turned off in a race, eventually your character will get in a line. If steering is on and you're manipulating it and trying to adjust it minutely all the time, it's never going to guide you back into the hole. Eventually, if you don't touch the buttons, it will. So you don't have to disable your steering, but you can. That's also an option if you want to do the team time trial and have the whole team disable their steering. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It's just going to make it so that nobody has their toggles on and nobody can accidentally hit the buttons. Kind of hard if you're riding something like the Kicker bike or like the Tax Neo bike. They have steering controls that can be brushed with your thumb. You accidentally hit those, suddenly you're swinging out of line, you find yourself off the center, you have to swing back, you have to play around with it to get it back, and then you can let it go for a little bit and it'll start to correct. But you can eliminate that by not enabling your steering at the start of the session when you're connecting your equipment.
So we had a great question. What person over the line is the timer stopping? So in WTRL, it's person number 3. So yes, it would make sense to be a blob, as fast as possible blob, over the line on that third person, even if your 4th and 5th are getting a little bit dropped at the very finish, that's okay, if you were really racing for time. In Zwift Racing League, I can't remember if it's the 4th.
I think it's
I think
for.
it is the 4th.
I thought it was the 4th for both of them, but I could be wrong.
I thought it was 4th for both of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
Thursday,
think,
it's the 4th rider.
Is it? Okay. So,
Yeah.
so knowing that, you want to carry everybody as quickly. So having one person sprint off the front, like we sprint for fun in the time trials, but let's say you were really going for time, you wouldn't want your fastest rider to sprint away from everybody because they lost the opportunity to pull the group at speed as hard as possible. And you would want the weaker riders to try to sprint past the stronger riders at the end so that ideally you all finish right across the line together. So yeah, what a great question. That's so wonderful. Any other questions? My biggest message is flexibility. Flexibility. Every group you ride with will do things a little different. Every group you ride with might have even a different sheet they use. The sheet we have is kind of smart and kind of dumb. The sheet we have would somebody like my power or Lewis's power and tries to average it with a brand new Zwift racer that's in that sheet and says, "Oh, you just go harder, new girl." Right? So sometimes you'll look at the sheet. Yeah, sometimes you'll look at the sheet and go, "What? It wants me to what?" Right?
Yeah, just ignore that.
So we have to massage the sheet. We have to manipulate a little bit and use it as a guide. Also, you will start to have riders you love to follow, and that's okay too. It's good. I always think it's good for me when I do mix up who I'm around, but there's some people I absolutely love following. I love their draft. Somehow Zwift loves their draft for me, or maybe I love the way that they move through the group. Saskia and I ride a ton together, and it works really well for us. We kind of can communicate without really talking much. And something about my draft is super helpful for her avatar. So, and that's just how it is for some riders. So don't be surprised if you start to find some favorites of who you're drafting off of. Just like outside, there was a guy who's 6'5" here, and I love drafting off him. I could draft off him all day. And there's another guy that's tiny, but somehow the way he sits, he casts good draft. And again, he's super helpful. Anyway, well, thanks so much, you guys. We've finished our event. I hope that if you're interested in team time trialing, please give a shout. We can help you turn that button on so that you can see different areas of the server. And that way you get a bit of an idea as to what this is all about. And then if you have joined a Zwift Racing League team, we will be announcing those teams. If you haven't heard already, don't worry. We get your registration. You'll get a team for 100% certain. And we just need to make sure we know who's on what team before we put you in your team channels. So you're the very first effort is a team time trial with the Zwift Racing League teams. So you're going to get to do something with your team right off the start. So next week is sprinting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And y'all did outstanding. If anybody's having any doubts about their ability to team time trial with the team, please put those aside. Everything I saw from my view, and I'm not participating today, so I got a good look at everybody. Everybody looked great. And so just be confident and go in there and do the best that you can for your team, and everybody will appreciate your effort no matter what.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And thank you, KJ, for recording the part that you did. We'll be able to watch that back, and I find that super helpful. And some of those tips and tricks. Leanne will have some of her stream from Tuesday night, I think. And Lewis, I'm not sure if you or Liz was recording, but if so, we'll share all that kind of stuff. So whatever did get recorded, we can share those links. So hugs to everybody, and I'll see you next week for some.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.